I'm sure this will come as a surprise to no one, but this nightmare fuel was generated by artificial intelligence. And I, like most people, saw this for the first time and thought, that's funny. It kind of looks like Will Smith in a funhouse mirror, but with no understanding of how humans eat pasta. So I pressed share and thought nothing more of it. When the name ChatGPT started creeping into the world's collective consciousness, I spent a day playing with the app with a work colleague. We got the AI to generate jokes which didn't work at worst and weren't funny at best. Ollie, why did the cat sit on the computer? It's because he wanted to keep his eye on the mouse. Ha! It filled a day, but I didn't think about it thereafter. That is, until this happened.
Tonight, it's pencils down and placards up.
They're afraid that producers are going to look for excuses to pay them less. They're afraid that they're going to hire AI to write scripts.
The sticking points, pay and security. The Writers Guild says TV execs have used the transition to streaming to cut writer pay and separate writers from production, directly impacting scripts for series. They're also concerned about artificial intelligence being used to generate scripts without writers altogether.
Being a writer as a career is kind of at stake. You know, it's not been very sustainable for long, and the negotiations came to like a really hard stop. Like the other guild just didn't really budge on anything, specifically on the issue of AI is what I'm mostly concerned about.
I have spoken about the business model of streaming being broken before, as the subscription method of movie consumption creates a system where hit movies feel no gain while flops feel no loss. But here's the screenwriter, Michael Jamin, who's written a lot of big shows, going through the paychecks for the episodes which are still repeated.
The Writers Guild sends out residuals in these green envelopes. This is about a month's worth. I got 6 of them here, plus a special bonus one at the end. Now, residuals, you have to remember, this is not my salary. This is money I get paid for reruns. Every time they rerun an episode that I wrote, I get paid. Now, the older a show is, the less money you make. And if the show gets sold to a streamer, you're screwed. That's the whammy. They don't pay much on stream. Here's the first one. I'm going to open it up, and it is... all right. So this is for King of the Hill, an episode of King of the Hill I did many years ago. It's for $568. I'll take it. The next envelope. Here we go. People, are you ready? Are you following along? How are you doing at home? Better or worse than I am? This one is for Rules of Engagement, and it's for $8. You screwed. That's because it's sold to a streamer. That's my guess. Here, let's do the next one. $8? Really? Okay. Here's another one. Rules of Engagement again. I guess it's a different episode. $9. Well, now we're on the right path, aren't we? Okay, let's do another one. Heading in the right direction, people. Here's another one. This one is for Lois and Clark. I wrote this one, and it's for $213. I wrote this episode 25 years ago, and I'm still getting paid. It's not a lot, but you know what? 25 years ago? I'll take it, right?
These are shows which are still in circulation, still being watched, still generating money. And you can see the vast difference in the remuneration. The episodes broadcast on television generate a residual payout in the hundreds. The ones which are on streaming generate payouts which often don't break double digits. Incidentally, do follow Michael Jamin on Instagram or TikTok. He's very informative about the strike and also rather funny too.
It used to be that a writer would come up with an idea, they would write a pilot, maybe you would shoot the pilot, and then the network would say, we're making a series, at which point you would hire a whole bunch of people to figure out what the season is, and you would all work together. And now they say, okay, why don't you hire a bunch of people to figure out the season, then we'll tell you if we're going to do it. And if we do it, most of you are fired anyway. Mm-hmm. And
we're going to pay them WGA scale.
Right, and we're going to pay you nothing.
Right.
And so...
And they'll take it because there's not a lot of gigs.
Yeah.
There's no guarantee.
I actually think, because, I was in Guild, I was on the board, I did a lot of stuff with the Writers Guild, and I remember very distinctly how everything went down in 2007, and this feels different in the sense that I think even the companies understand at a fundamental level that they have f***ed up. They have just demolished. It's almost like someone finally pointed it out to them and said, do you see what you've done?
Yeah.
You've just blown out the foundation of your own house, and now the whole thing's crumbling down around you. They know they have to fix it too.
Narrative drama, whether cinema or TV, relies on good writing. Yet this is how Hollywood treats their writing staff. The The giants of the industry are saying, streaming doesn't generate that much money, we've got nothing to give you. Which is why they're worried about AI.
Here, check it out. There's tons of ChatGPT apps for your phone. So then I can take whatever latest dumb thing Bebe texted me, I copy it, then I open the GPT app, click respond to, paste her text here, hit write, it just thinks for a second. You would look great with any length of hair, trying a new look could be fun. Copy that into messages and send it off. It's super easy and convenient, and it saves me a ton of time because she texts me so goddamn much.
The notion of artificial intelligence being capable of generating an enjoyable story was parodied by South Park. In an uncharacteristically low-stakes episode, Stan takes to using AI to respond to his girlfriend's texts. Later, an inspector, of sorts, comes into the school to hunt down kids using ChatGPT to write essays. Finding Stan's AI-generated responses on Wendy's phone, she's taken in for an interrogation. Stan then asks ChatGPT how to save the day, and what follows is 3 minutes of comedically unsatisfying computer-generated storytelling that ends with a plea for artificial intelligence to stay out of the hands of big business. Yes, but we all know that Hollywood studios aren't going to make computers write their screenplays, as it would be incomprehensible trash. Or will they? I mean, we've already seen how little regard they have for their human writers. There are shows which have been broadcast which I don't even think they've read the scripts to.
Oh, jinkies.
But I mean, do you have a dog in this fight? I mean, do you support the strike? Where do you speak up?
There's no question that this has to be figured out now. Strikes used to happen because a new thing was coming down the pike that was going to have to be, and the contracts come up at a certain time. So, well, let's renegotiate. And you could always say, everybody could say with some degree of truthfulness, well, we're not sure actually how this is going to pan out. That's the way it was in 1980 when I was doing Bosom Buddies, there was an actor's strike. 81 when I was doing the Bosom Buddies, and there was a writer's strike. I don't think that's the case right now. The economic picture is, I think, relatively obvious of where it is. And you have streaming services that everybody wants, some program that is on there. And without there being the rightful recompense for things that work and are popular, as well as the aspects of exclusivity, like if you write or work or direct on something on one streaming service, anything you would do on another streaming service would be in competition, so therefore there's an anti-competition clause, which means you can't take jobs and you cannot create your own work because you've taken something that ends up being pan out. There are so many bread and butter, and when I mean that, it's like, look, is it right that somebody can create a series or direct a series or star in a series that is spread out so far and wide that you end up working for a lot less money for something that is actually profitable? That is actually viewed as valuable and profitable for the people who air it, for the business people that air it.
So it has to be worked out.
It does have to be. It has to be worked out, and it has to be worked out in an ecumenical way in which we understand that, guys, we're all in this together. There is a win-win circumstance here that can only come about when everybody is paid their fair share.
Although Tom Hanks didn't mention it by name, he said strikes used to happen when a new thing was coming down the pike. And AI is on its way. Tom Scott is a science educator who runs a YouTube channel I really enjoy. But he did a video about this maybe a month or so ago. He's of the opinion that everything is about to change in a big way. The cartoonist Chris Mould recently withdrew from the Bradford Literary Festival at which he was supposed to speak, because they'd used AI-generated artwork in their advertising, thus taking work away from a fellow artist. As one commentator has observed, humans doing the hard jobs on minimum wage whilst robots write poetry and paint is not the future I had wanted. No, nor me. It's easy for AI not to be a concern while it's still rubbish, but it's only a matter of time before it gets good. Then who knows what'll happen? Maybe you'll be able to say into your phone, give me an animated film about a koala and a kangaroo getting lost in the Australian outback. Then 3, 2, 1, it's generated for you. Don't like how the story is unfolding? Press pause and say, happy ending please, and hey presto, you've got it. I'm not a member of the WGA, but I am a writer, and I find this really scary. So unless we want all art to go completely offline, then this needs to be sorted now. I'm Scott Kingsnorth, and I'm making a movie.